Good evening. Welcome to Brass Tacks. I'm Zaka Jacob. We're starting off with a piece of big breaking news that's coming through right now. CNN News 18 has accessed details of the ethics panel investigation. The report will be submitted to the Speaker tomorrow. The recommendation of the ethics panel into the Mahua Moitra probe has been accessed by CNN News 18. And what we are given to understand is that the committee, the ethics panel, has recommended that she be expelled as a member of parliament from the 17th Lok Sabha. They have also recommended a time-bound investigation by the government of India, by an agency they so choose, into charges of quid pro quo, whether it was financial quid pro quo or whether it was gifts in kind, and the impact on national security. The report by the ethics panel will be submitted to the Speaker, who will then put those recommendations to a vote before the House, and action will be taken if that report and the recommendations of that report is adopted by a simple majority. Payal is now breaking this big story for us. Walk us through, first of all, the finer details of what led to the ethics panel to come to this conclusion, this recommendation that she be expelled as a member of parliament. What is it that they have found which has made them come to this conclusion?
Zaka, it's a 500-page exhaustive report in which every word that has been said either by the defendants or probably the people who've been summoned before it, or even the MPs and all questions, everything has been part of that report, and that's the reason it's a 500-page exhaustive report. What I've been able to gather is that, given the fact that Mahua Moitra had given her login credentials to an outsider, who's of course Mr. Hiranandani in this case, that is something which the Ethics Committee has found violative of parliamentary procedure. So that's one of the main reasons that the Ethics Committee has felt that it is violative of the norms, and that's the reason they feel it's a fit case for it to be asking for Mahua Moitra to be expelled, given the fact that Mahua's defense was not very satisfactory in their wisdom, and when they tried to cross-question her last time around, you remember, she stormed out of that meeting as well. So that's something which is there on that account. Also, the fact that Nishikant Dubey and Jay Anand both have recommended that there should be other inquiries, including the fact that what gifts did she receive? Did she receive any cash? Was there quid pro quo? All of these issues have to be looked into, but we've been breaking this earlier as well, Zaka, that the Ethics Committee is a committee of MPs. They are not investigating agency MPs, members sitting over there. So that's the reason, in their wisdom, the Ethics Committee has said that they would like the Government of India to form a committee or form some sort of a mechanism to look into the in-depth, detailed legal review as far as this case is concerned. So troubles are far from over as far as Mahua Moitra's case is concerned. And as far as the numbers in the panel are concerned, Zaka, out of 15 members, about 8 to 9 members are from the N.D.I.A and from the BJP. So passing that report or clearing that report is not going to be an issue as such as far as the ruling party is concerned. Because remember, in case of a tie, Vinod Sonkar, the chairman, is assigned to have 2 votes to cast as well. Having said that, it's going to be a bit of a trouble further for Mahua Moitra, given the fact, I am told by very highly placed sources, that one of the members of the opposition from the Congress party is unlikely to either appear tomorrow or even cast their dissent notes. That's what we are given to understand. That's what Congress sources have also been hinting at. So obviously, troubles are mounting for Mahua Moitra, not only on this front in terms of her being expelled from Parliament, because that recommendation tomorrow, once it's cleared by the committee, will be sent to the Lok Sabha Speaker for his final approval. And once the Lok Sabha Speaker places it on the floor of the House on the first day of the winter session of Parliament, the government will then be bringing in a motion to expel Mahua Moitra.
So what happens here on? Like you said, tomorrow these MPs will meet, the committee will meet, they will adopt this report. Once that report is adopted, they make the formal recommendation to the Speaker. The Speaker has to call the House, and of course the House has to vote by simple majority to expel her. What is her grievance redressal mechanism? Does she have to wait for this process to conclude before, for example, she challenges this in a court of law?
We'll have to just wait and see what options are really available in terms of that legality as far as Mahua Moitra is concerned. But the prerogative to appoint a member to the Parliament and of course expel that member to the Parliament is the prerogative of the Parliament. So that surely is going to happen on the first day of the upcoming session of Parliament. But after that, we've seen in the past also that when Shiv Sena, one NCP member of Parliament, Faiz was removed as a member of Parliament, and then once he wanted to get back, he had to go through the law, he had to go through a court as well. Will Mahua take that route? What defense will she file on that? Because this is the procedure of a Parliament which is broken. This is not a legal case, because in Faiz's case, it was more of a legal case that was being looked into, but here Mahua is violative of a Parliament procedure. And of course, like the committee is now recommending that there should be action taken against her in terms of legal inquiry into in-depth charges that have been made by both Jay Anand as well as Nishikant Dubey. That's another story as well. But what we also have to understand that over here, another member of parliament who was a part of the committee, Zaka, Danish Ali, also faces action because, obviously the committee has recommended that he spoke in a derogatory manner about the chair. He made aspersions on the conduct of the chair. So that is also something which is going to be put forth in the recommendations of the committee. And in his case, his violations will be in fact dealt with by the speaker. The speaker can recommend what punishment can Danish Ali be subjected to. Can he be expelled for the entire winter session of parliament? That remains to be seen, but that will also be coming to the fore on the first day of the winter session of parliament. Not to forget that tomorrow is going to be a fiery affair, fiery day, given the fact that Danish Ali himself will be present in the committee meeting tomorrow when the report is being adopted.
All right, Payal, we'll leave it at that. I just want to clarify for our viewers, this is the recommendation of the ethics panel. This will now have to be adopted. The report of the ethics panel, the findings of the ethics panel will have to be adopted within the panel, after which they will submit this report to the speaker. The speaker will have to, whenever the House is called next, as Payal was saying, in the winter session, on day one of the winter session of Parliament, this report will be tabled before the House and will be put to a simple vote. If the motion is adopted by a simple majority, then the Parliament makes the recommendation to expel the MP in question, in this case, Mahua Moitra. The closest parallel was what happened in 2005-06, when I think about 10 or 11 MPs cutting across party lines were caught on camera accepting money for questions to be asked in Parliament. In that case, again, an inquiry found all of them guilty, and then they were recommended to be expelled, and the House expelled them in 2006. So we'll see how the Mahua story plays out as of now. But like I said, the distinction that's being made in this case is, so far, the recommendation they're making is basis her violation of login credentials. The fact that she gave her login credentials to an interested party, a party who may have had a corporate rivalry with the corporate group that she was railing and ranting against, that is the material fact on which the committee has come to this recommendation. Whether or not there was criminality, illegality involved by way of her receiving financial rewards for questions asked, or even gifts in kind for those questions asked, that is a matter of a criminal investigation. And the committee has also made that recommendation to the government of India that they constitute a probe by a capable agency. It could be the CBI or any other state investigative agency, to try and get to the bottom of this question as to whether she got a quid pro quo in the form of financial rewards or in the form of gifts of kind. All right, let's move on to the other big story, and this is the debate tonight on brass tacks. Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar is under fire. He's under the pump for the rather crass and extremely misogynistic comments that he made in the assembly yesterday. Women across the country have taken grave offense to what Nitish Kumar has said. The National Commission for Women has issued a notice. The BJP wants nothing less than Nitish's resignation. Nitish Kumar, for his part, has apologized, saying that he was misunderstood. The words that he used may not have been the choicest, but many are asking, after the sheer crassness of what he said and the manner in which he said it, is a mere apology enough? But first, the story so far.
आक्रमण में किसी को मौका नहीं मिला। अगर मेरी किसी बात को लेकर के तकलीफ हुई है तो मैं अपनी बात को वापस करता हूं और मैं अपनी निंदा करता हूं। इंडी अलायंस का एक भी नेता माताओं बहनों के इतने भयंकर अपमान के खिलाफ एक शब्द बोलने के लिए तैयार नहीं हुआ। जो माताओं बहनों के प्रति ये दृष्टिकोण रखते हैं, वो कभी आपका भला कर सकते हैं माताएं बहनें?
मुझे डर है कि ये मुख्यमंत्री जी का याददाश्त लॉस हो चुका है, मेंटल तौर पर अस्वस्थ है, इसलिए इनको पद पर बने रहने का कोई औचित्य नहीं है।
तो मुख्यमंत्री जी ने कहा था इसमें कौन विवाद है? जिसको कुछ नहीं मिलता है उसको यही सब विवाद नजर आता है।
All right, so here's a clarification that's come from Nitish Kumar. He has apologized in the assembly and his party is defending him. The clarification seemingly is on the nature of the words that he used, that Nitish was talking about the dropping fertility rate in Bihar. The emphasis seems to be on the need to educate women for population control, that the Chief Minister used rather crude analogies to describe sex and impregnation. Also, the BJP has taken offense to the language that was used by the Chief Minister and the manner in which he expressed what he did, the crass nature in which he expressed it, to try and explain this matter in the Assembly. The RJD, of course, alliance partner of Nitish Kumar, has defended Nitish, saying that the Chief Minister's statement has been misinterpreted. You heard from Tejashwi Yadav as well right after these comments were made. But Prime Minister Modi has made an unsparing attack. You saw him on the campaign trail in Madhya Pradesh today. He's brought this into the campaign trail there and made this into an issue that affects every single woman out there in Madhya Pradesh as well. Attack number one: how low will you stoop? The Prime Minister asks of Nitish Kumar. Attack number two: derogatory language has been used against our mothers and our sisters. He's taken that and extrapolated this to be an insult to all womanhood, to all women across the country. The India Alliance leaders, not one of them has come out and condemned what Nitish has said, and thereby, by their act of omission, they have backed Nitish Kumar, or at least not condemned him outright, and therefore that's again an insult to womankind. The India Alliance partners, of course, the India Alliance is headed by Sonia Gandhi, who happens to be a woman. No one from Sonia Gandhi downwards has come out and said a word against Nitish Kumar's rather crass and misogynistic comments he made in the Assembly. And also attack number five, that he defamed the nation with the indecency of the words that he used. Now, the remarks of Nitish Kumar have resonated across the country, and that is part of our Motorola 5G tweet of the day. In fact, musician Mary Miliband has tweeted, and this is part of our Motorola, India's best 5G smartphone brand's tweet of the day.
Hello, Moto.
This is what Mary Miliband has said, and I quote, after Nitish Kumar's comments: I believe a courageous woman needs to step up and declare her candidacy to run to be the Chief Minister of Bihar. If I were a citizen of India, I would move to Bihar and run to be the next Chief Minister. The BJP, this would be the true sentiment of women empowerment and development. In response, or Bihar, as she goes on to say, should do as SRK had admonished in Jawan: vote and bring change. So this is the response from Mary Miliband, the American singer and musician. But there is no end to the outrage against Nitish Kumar. The Prime Minister has made a direct shot at the India Alliance for not condemning Nitish Kumar. This is part of our big debate tonight, and that's our big debate topic. Has Prime Minister Modi cornered the India Bloc over Nitish Kumar's comments?
Hello, Moto.
All right, joining me on the talking point this evening, Charu Pragya is spokesperson of the BJP, Professor Anwar Pasha is spokesperson of the RJD, Anupriya is spokesperson of the JDU, Lalita Kumar Mangalam is former chief of the National Commission for Women, and Sanjeev Srivastava, senior journalist, also joining us. Let me ask Charu Pragya this. Charu Pragya, Nitish Kumar, his party, his alliance partner, the RJD, they're all saying that, maybe the choice of words were wrong. That's not what the Chief Minister intended. And most of all, he's apologized. What more do you want him to do?
Zaka, thank you for your question, and a very good evening to you and to all our viewers today. The Chief Minister did not apologize. In fact, he said, "Agar meri baat se aapko ठेस लगी हो तो," agar, if. And I don't think using a word like agar in a context like this is to be taken lightly. I mean, you should have known that what you have said is completely wrong, completely derogatory, misogynistic, sexist. Call it whatever you want. I mean, it was not just his words that were vulgar. His gestures were obscene, and he repeated them not once but twice. And after that, he says, "Agar meri baat buri lagi ho," to bhai buri lagne ki baat hi thi na. Who's going to be okay with a conversation like that? And would any of us? They are hiding behind the guise of this being sex education, but would any of us would be okay with this kind of sex education being imparted to our children? And what kind of sex education is this? First of all, it's incomplete. What you're talking about is not even a method of family planning, and you are treating women like simply childbearing objects and nothing more. And worse still, you're treating your men like animals who know no better, and they need their partners to control them. So what are you talking about? This is the 21st century. I'm sorry, and do not put down the people of Bihar and the people of India to such an extent that you're just bringing shame upon all of us. It doesn't matter what party you're from today. It doesn't matter whether you're a chief minister of a state like Bihar today. Do not hide behind this being sex education, because you're the kind of person who's got trouble even uttering the word sex, but you've got no trouble with obscene gestures.
अनुप्रिया जी, आप खुद एक महिला हैं, आपके मुख्यमंत्री ने आके ऐसे मतलब घटिया शब्द इस्तेमाल किए हैं महिलाओं के बारे में, और उसके बाद पूरे देश में मतलब आक्रोश है उनके खिलाफ, लेकिन वो माफी भी ठीक तरीके से नहीं मांग पा रहे हैं। तो क्या हम ये ना समझें कि उन्होंने जो कहा उसके लिए सिर्फ क्षमा ही काफी नहीं है, उससे ज्यादा करनी चाहिए, उनको इस्तीफा दे देनी चाहिए?
गुड इवनिंग। और जाका जी, मैं आपकी बातों से सहमत अगर मैं कहूँ, और आपने मुझे कहा कि माफ़ी मांगना काफ़ी नहीं है, तो शायद इस देश ने कई ऐसी भी घटनाएं देखी हैं जहां पे देश के नेताओं ने चुप्पी साधी है, लेकिन माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी ने अपनी जिम्मेदारी समझते हुए उन्होंने कहा कि अगर भावनाओं की बात हो रही है, जिस तरह से बीजेपी ने अपनी बातें रखी हैं, क्योंकि कल का दिन बिहार के लिए बहुत ही ऐतिहासिक था कि कल महत्वपूर्ण फैसले हुए। जाति जनगणना के जो रिपोर्ट्स आए हैं, उसके बाद में माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी ने कहा है कि जो ओबीसी है या ईबीसी है, इनके लिए जो आरक्षण की जो सीमाएं हैं उनको बढ़ानी चाहिए। उसी संदर्भ में उन्होंने महिलाओं के प्रति उनके जो कार्यशैली रही है, क्योंकि माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी जो प्रथम बार जब मुख्यमंत्री बने थे वो 2005 वर्ष था, तब से लगातार उन्होंने सामाजिक, आर्थिक, शैक्षणिक रूप से मजबूती के लिए महिलाओं के लिए कई ऐसी योजनाओं का
तो और ढेर पहुंचा गया ना, इसलिए तो और लोग असंतुष्ट हैं उनके साथ कि ऐसे एक व्यक्ति, ऐसे एक नेता ने ऐसे अश्लील और घटिया शब्दों का इस्तेमाल किया है महिलाओं के बारे में जब वो बात कर रहे थे, इसलिए और आक्रोश हैं लोग।
मैं फिर कह रही हूँ कि माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी ने जिन शब्दों का इस्तेमाल किया, उनसे भावनाओं का जो आहत हुआ, माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी ने फिर से आज उन्होंने पब्लिक डोमेन में माफी मांगी। लेकिन देश को यह भी याद है कि जब मणिपुर की घटना होती है, जहां पर डबल इंजन की सरकार है बीजेपी की, वहां किसी को भी माफी मांगने की जरूरत महसूस नहीं होती है। और जब मैं बात करूं बीजेपी की एमपी के बृजकिशोर की, अगर मैंने पूरे कार्यशाली को देखें, जिस तरह से बिहार देश के महिलाओं की जो देश का मान सम्मान बढ़ाने वाली महिलाएं हैं, उनके साथ में अभद्र व्यवहार होता है, लेकिन बीजेपी के प्रवक्ता ना बीजेपी के नेता किसी भी तरह से माफी नहीं मांगते, चुप्पी साधते हैं।
नहीं,
दोहरी नीति देश की जनता समझ रही है।
कोई गलती हुई है, उसकी जस्टिफिकेशन ये नहीं हो सकती ना कि मुख्यमंत्री जी जो भी उनके मन में आ जाए वो बोल दें, मतलब किसी भी तरीके के भाषा इस्तेमाल करें, वो उसका मतलब नहीं है। Let me ask Lalita Kumar Mangalam, what is also concerning, and I think the Prime Minister raised this today, Lalita Kumar Mangalam, is how is it that none of the India Alliance parties have said a word against what Nitish Kumar has said? Neither the RJD has said, the Congress, the Aam Aadmi Party, Samajwadi Party, no one has come out and said that, look, we completely detest and condemn what Nitish Kumar has said regarding women.
Zaka, I quite agree with you, but let me make my first point more in reply to the JDO's first person. One mistake does not justify another.
Correct.
If they claim what were the mistakes were made by whether it was Modi ji or somebody from our side of the political spectrum in other states, why did their CM, Nitish Kumar is not some sadak chap that you can get away by making such comments. This is Nitish Kumar. As you rightly pointed out, he's an educated man, and the whole country, including, I'm sure, women in the JDU who have no other choice but to defend him because he's their and he's their leader, are bitterly disappointed today. It's not about just what he said, it's about how he said it. The words, the smirk on his face, the almost utter contempt that he showed when he was talking about women, and what was the need to go into that sort of cheap, egregious detail? You want to talk about family planning and you say that education or whatever it is will help women, women should contribute. All of that is fine. It can be said in a much more civilized and a much more decent manner. What is really hit people like me is that somebody whom you thought was actually a man who respected women, turns around and does something so demeaning that he really has shamed everybody today in this country.
Okay.
And all the activists, regardless of whether they're liberal or non-liberal, right wing, left wing, whatever wing, those who keep quiet have all added fuel to this fire. It means that, in short, that women's empowerment or women's respect really doesn't mean anything to them, but it's just mere lip service.
So let me ask Sanjeev Srivastava this. The political fallout of this, Sanjeev Srivastava, is that, Nitish Kumar had for many years, over his multiple terms as Chief Minister, cultivated this woman vote bank, this woman constituency. In fact, all the way back to 2010, at the end of his first term, where he introduced cycles for school girls who would go to, to encourage them to enroll better in school. And that was a big hit. It helped him come back to power in 2015. Even in the 2020 election, when he was fighting along with the BJP, what really turned that election in his favor after the first phase, the second and third phases, was the disproportionate number of women who came out. Yeah, there were, I think, a 5 percentage point gap between women and men in phases 2 and 3, and that saved Nitish Kumar. He won the election because of the women vote. For him to come and say something like this, surely there should be a political fallout of it. There will be consequences for what he said.
So, Zaka, thank you for having me. Just wait, couple of quick points. So, political fallout, what will be there? It's very difficult to guess, but I really think Nitish Kumar has lost it. Listening to him yesterday was such a big shock. Has he really gone senile? How can somebody like Nitish Kumar or anybody who is in public life say what he said yesterday in public? He was saying that on the floor of the House. I think it was just too crass to use the word which you used, too vulgar, too insensitive, I don't know too crude, whatever. So no words of condemnation are enough to condemn what Nitish Kumar said. Good, he has apologized. So that's one aspect.
Okay.
Now the second aspect, if you allow me, it's kind of a little rich coming from BJP demanding for his resignation. We have heard leaders say, so is it okay to criticize or target one woman rather than womankind? So if you have statements like Jersey cow, few hundred crores girlfriend, and things like that, who apologized for them? Nobody. Did any of the alliance partners of BJP criticize them? No. So we also should not have selective outrage. Yes, what Nitish Kumar has said, he should be banned from public life, in my opinion.
Okay.
But let's not pick and choose. That's my other issue.
So I'll get Charu to respond to that, because there have been BJP leaders also who made misogynistic comments. But Professor Anwar Pasha is also waiting very patiently. Dr. Anwar Pasha, simple question. I want to look at some of the things that Nitish Kumar has said in the past. Statements which he may have said off the cuff, मतलब ज़्यादा ध्यान नहीं दिए होंगे. But listen to the meaning of it. In December 2021, when a woman MLA asked him a question in the assembly, he said, "You are so beautiful, don't you know what we have done for Adivasis?" In May 2022, when he was inaugurating a women's hostel, he said, "We had no girls in college. It seemed bad." Again, in May 2022, while inaugurating the same women's hostel, he said, "There will be no childbirth if men marry men." In December 2022, on the Saran Hooch tragedy, that of course has nothing to do with women, but the point is that he has said from time to time things that are not exactly charitable or nice about women in general. So why are you, the RJD, and you were there in the assembly yesterday when he said this, why are you continually defending him?
Thanks, Mr. Jacob, and good evening to all the viewers. This is really very surprising that BJP is trying to create a mountain out of mole. The context was the social justice, the education of the women, and there was a question in the House about the percentage of the number of a particular caste which has been shown in the caste census. So BJP is very disturbed because of this caste census, because it is going to have a heavy impact on the political scenario of the country. because the weaker people of the country are going to ask their own share in the power and in the development. So BJP doesn't want to give the power to the weaker section of the society, the OBC, the SC, ST.
No, but Professor, what has that got to do with what the Chief Minister said? Please answer about what the Chief Minister said yesterday in the Assembly. Yeah.
Whatever Chief Minister said, he said in the context of that only. So it was not. You are taking it out of the context.
So just because he's talking about the caste census, he can say any anap shanap about women.
And no, he whatever he spoke, it was not his intention. He has clarified.
No, but how do you know what his intention was? How do you know what his intention was?
He's one of the tallest leader of the country.
Is it noble intention the way he describes women and sexual intercourse and the difference between educated women and uneducated women? I mean, come on, that was his intention. Kya intention tha unka?
Educated women can play better role in controlling the population of the country.
So is that how you explain that, and that too in the assembly? Is that how you explain that educated women have a better shot at population control using the words that the Chief Minister used yesterday in the assembly? That's the way to describe it.
In such a graphic way.
I agree that the words chosen by him were not appropriate.
Words and actions also. Look at his actions. Unfortunately, it is so bad. I'm sorry. I want to tell my viewers this. What the Chief Minister said, Professor Saab, give me 1 second. One second. What the Chief Minister said is so vulgar that we have decided to turn off the audio on that. We have muted what he has said because it is so vulgar. We cannot put that out on national television. You know, children watch this, young adults watch this. It is so vulgar, we can't put the soundbite on with the sound on. Right? We are showing it as a picture, but you can't hear what he's saying because it's so vulgar. So I just want to clarify that to our viewers. But Charu, to the point that Sanjeev Srivastava made, you need to answer as to why, you know, leaders in your party who say 50 crore ka girlfriend, Jersey cow, etc., that is also just as misogynistic.
So, first of all, Zaka, you know I never stand by any misogynistic comment made by anyone. But there's a difference between a slip of tongue and somebody speaking for a whole minute in this graphic, very, very perverted manner, not once but twice. There is a difference, and he was smirking the whole time that he was talking. Those sitting next to him were smirking and smiling and laughing the whole time. And I think you've just turned this all around into a joke. You're turning sex education into a joke. You're hiding behind the guise of sex education while I'm calling out your bluff. What kind of education was that? What are you trying to teach your children? And I'm very sorry, Zaka. We all have families. We all have women and young adults in our families. Do we want this kind of education to be imparted to our girls? If something like this were to happen, we would go and file a complaint. You know, section 294 of the IPC will put a man behind bars for speaking like this in public for 3 whole months just because he had the protection of speaking in Bihar Assembly twice. He's getting away with it, and he's got all these people who are here on television defending him. He even has a spokesperson from his own party who's a woman and who's defending him. I'm sorry, please don't hide behind social justice, sex education, any of that. Please don't call him out for what it is, because if you say कि हाँ जो बोला वो गलत था लेकिन बोलो ही मत ना. Can you not condemn something as serious as this in a very complete manner without adding a but? Because the Chief Minister himself is adding a but. He's saying अगर बात बुरी लगी हो तो भाई बुरी लगेगी ना. Will we allow any man to talk like that to our young children, whether in school or otherwise? And you did it twice in assembly. You've got down the respect of our assembly to such a low level.
ये बताइए ना उन्होंने माफी मांगी ठीक तरीके से. दूसरा, जो जब वो ये भाषण का ये शब्दों का इस्तेमाल कर रहे थे, वहां पे महिला एमएलएज भी बैठे हुई थी. 1-2 महिला एमएलएज ने मतलब वॉकआउट कर दिया. एक तो रो रही थी जैसे वो हाउस के बाहर आ रही थी कि वो सुन भी नहीं पा रही थी कि मतलब ऐसे शब्द का इस्तेमाल एक मुख्यमंत्री कर सकते हैं. तो उनको आप क्या कहेंगे? आज पूरे देश और दुनिया ने ये सुना कि मुख्यमंत्री जी ने क्या बोला, कैसे शब्द का इस्तेमाल किया उन्होंने, कैसे अश्लील और घटिया शब्दों का इस्तेमाल किया उन्होंने. तो उन महिलाओं को, महिला एमएलएज हो, वो महिलाएं जो असेंबली के प्रोसीडिंग्स को लाइव देख रहे थे टीवी पे, उनको आप क्या कहेंगे महिला नेता के तौर पर?
देखिए, बिहार की जनता ही नहीं, देश की जनता ने कल भी माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी को सुना और आज भी सुना, और जिन शब्दों का उन्होंने इस्तेमाल किया, मैं फिर कहती हूँ, मैं डिफेंड नहीं कर रही हूँ, जो बातें पब्लिक डोमेन में कही गई है, जिस तरह से माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी ने कहा, उन्होंने माफी भी मांगा और सबके सामने माफी मांगा, बिहार की जनता से माफी मांगा कि अगर मेरी बातें बुरी लगी है और मेरा लहजा गलत है तो मैं माफी मांगता हूँ, मैं शर्मिंदा हूं, उन्होंने ये भी कहा। लेकिन मुझे ऐसी शर्म की उम्मीद, और मुझे बीजेपी की प्रवक्ता पे मुझे लगता है कि इनके अभी आपके पैनल में लोगों ने याद दिलाया कि जब इनके नेताओं ने जर्सी गाय कही, 50 करोड़ के गर्लफ्रेंड की बात कही, तब किसी ने शर्म की बात नहीं। और मुझे ये पूछ रही थी कि मैं कैसे कंपेयर कर सकती हूँ ब्रिजभूषण के स्टेटमेंट या उनकी घटनाओं को मुख्यमंत्री जी की घटना से। मैं इसलिए कंपेयर कर रही हूँ कि हमने ये हिम्मत की कि हमने अपनी गलती पे पर्दा नहीं डाल करके माफी मांगा। लेकिन आप इस बेशर्मी के साथ में आज देश के प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी को याद जरूर आ गया कि माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी के स्टेटमेंट पे, लेकिन उनसे जब पूरे देश की जनता टकटकी निगाह लगा के बैठी थी और उम्मीद कर रही थी कि मणिपुर की घटना पे आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी बोलेंगे,
देखिए
तब उनको याद नहीं आया देश
आप
में।
काफी सारे इश्यूज को मिक्स कर रहे हैं। नहीं, जो किसी नहीं, सुनिए बात सुनिए, नहीं, दो तीन इश्यूज को आप मिक्सअप कर रहे हैं। मैं सिर्फ ये पूछ रहा हूं कि जब उन्होंने ये अश्लील शब्द के इस्तेमाल किए, बाकी सारे आपके पार्टी के लोग भी उनके आमने सामने बैठे थे और वो क्या कर रहे थे? वो हंस रहे थे, वो हंसी मजाक कर रहे थे जो मुख्यमंत्री जी ने किया, जो शब्दों को इस्तेमाल उन्होंने किया। और सिर्फ शब्द ही नहीं, उनके एक्शंस, उनके बॉडी लैंग्वेज को देखिए आप। ये सब चीजें क्या मतलब है और क्या मैसेज आप देना चाहते हैं बिहार की जनता को?
कोई मतलब की बात नहीं हो रही है। मैं आप नहीं
तो उनके पीछे, उनके सामने जो आपके पार्टी के लोग बैठे थे, वो हंस क्यों रहे थे?
मैं उम्मीद करती हूँ बीजेपी की प्रवक्ता से
men are also animals according to you and women are
चारू वन सेकंड, लेट अस रिस्पॉन्ड। बताइए, आपके बाकी जो पार्टी के लोग हैं वो हंस क्यों रहे थे? बताइए।
आप नहीं, मैं फिर बोली हूँ कि हंसने की बात, अगर आप मुझसे बॉडी लैंग्वेज की बात करते, मुझे फिर कहते हैं कि यह पूरी तरह से यह मुद्दे से भटकाने की साजिश है। अगर इतनी ही शर्म की बात हो रही है तो कर्नाटक में जब बीजेपी की एमएलए पोर्न मूवी देख रहे थे, इससे ज्यादा शर्म की बात क्या हो सकती है?
मैम, आप देखिए वो जो वीडियो हम चला रहे हैं कल असेंबली के दौरान, जो मुख्यमंत्री जी बोल रहे थे, जो शब्दों का इस्तेमाल वो कर रहे थे, जैसे वो बोल रहे हैं, उनके पीछे जो बैठे हैं, उनके साइड पे जो बैठे हैं, उनके शक्ल पे देखिए जरा, वो हंस रहे हैं।
द पोस्चर एंड बॉडी लैंग्वेज, मैं जो कह रही हूँ आप सुन लीजिए पहले मेरी बातों को। मैं आपकी बातों को समझ रही हूँ। आप बॉडी लैंग्वेज की बात करें, पोस्चर की बात करें, शब्दों की बात करें, सभी चीजों के लिए माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी ने माफी मांगा। मैं चैलेंज करती हूँ बीजेपी की प्रवक्ता को मैं एक भी बीजेपी के नेता जो इनके द्वारा किए गए शर्मनाक कामों के कोई माफी मांगा हो, ये हम फिर कहते हैं कि लोकतंत्र में हमने स्वागत भी किया कि आप हमारी निंदा करते हैं, हम स्वागत भी करते हैं।
The problem is, Mulayam Singh can say boys will be boys. I think Sharad Yadav had infamously once said Parkati Mahilayein and so on. There is no political fallout for this. There's no political cost for this. No male MLA or MP is going to lose sleep over the fact that, oh my God, what will the women of my constituency say or do? Will they punish me for saying, uncharitable things about them? There's no political cost.
Exactly.
That is the reality of it.
That's the bottom line.
Yeah.
I agree with you, Zaka, and I'm sorry if I have to break things with my own party, but it doesn't matter which party a man comes from when he talks like this. Up to a point, Ms. Anupriya is right. Every politician who has spoken about women like this, and there have been enough from the BJP and from all other parties in this country, they deserve to be voted out of power. But as you pointed out, unfortunately, and I have said this before, politics is still a detestably patriarchal domain. And mostly, voters do not vote against them unless it is made into such a big election issue that we are aware that this man is going to really, really remove the grassroots differences, the grassroots prejudice, the grassroots, the deep, pernicious roots of patriarchy that exist throughout this country. So this whole debate today has been about finding an excuse for a man who had a far better reputation, who actually had got an enormous amount of women's votes, where he's made such a callous terribly, terribly distressing, and it makes one very cynical to see that politicians who are supposed to be good, I'm not saying they're good or bad, I'm not passing any judgment here.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that even politicians who are normally decent, well-spoken, people who have worked for their constituents, turn around and find an excuse and say that, oh, saying sorry, it's not enough. When the words like this and the way he said it and for how long he said it, maybe he had a different viewpoint. Maybe he was trying to push a point across that should be spoken about. But the point is, how did he do it, and why did he choose?
So let me bring Sanjeev Srivastava into the conversation. You know what is particularly bothersome, and I think I said this earlier as well. A, none of the India Alliance partners have come out and condemned what Mr. Nitish Kumar has said, and two, there was a point not so long ago, Sanjeev, that Nitish Kumar was widely talked about as being appointed as some kind of convener for the India Alliance. Surely, after what he said yesterday about women, no one in their right mind, and certainly nobody in the India Alliance would want to, promote Mr. Nitish Kumar as their convener, because the BJP is going to be all over it if after this he's given this bump up, as it were.
So, Zaka, let me be a little politically incorrect. So, I think this issue is going to blow over in a few days. It has become a big issue right now, and rightly so. And like I said earlier, saying sorry is very good. At least he has apologized. But what he said yesterday on the floor of the House also reflects some kind of a mindset. And whatever he said is beyond condemnation. It was so crude and crass.
Yeah.
But I don't think it will become a big political issue. That's the nature of our polity. Whether we like it or not, it should become. But these things go away. But my point is, when one keeps repeating why isn't the India Alliance asking questions, we cannot just point out fingers on one side. People across political lines and in the ruling party have said things we should not compare with, which is more worse, which is how bad. But at least he had the sense to apologize after he said something.
No, so that issue we brought in the debate. I asked Charu that specific question as well. No, but Sanjeev, what I also want to understand, just give me 30 seconds. Just give me 30 seconds. What I want to know is, in this election campaign, and you're going to be there throughout the election campaign with us, everybody is out to woo the woman vote, from Ladli Behna on the BJP side, cylinders at 500 rupees. Priyanka Gandhi was in Madhya Pradesh a few weeks ago and said, we'll give 1,500 or 1,700 rupees to all women. Everyone is going out for the woman vote. And then you have a leader of the opposition alliance saying this about women. Isn't it absolutely right and well within their right for the women of Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, these states that are going to polls now, to turn around and ask, you want our vote. You have all these guarantees for women, free bus ride and cylinders and so on and so forth. But this is ultimately what you think of women? This is the respect you have for women?
So my answer would be that you are absolutely right in terms of your theory and the logic of it. But my answer, I began by saying that I'll be politically incorrect. My experience shows that these things really don't become political issue, and whatever potential of it becoming a political issue was there, that Nitish Kumar, after all his blunderous and putting his foot in his mouth and vulgar, crass, whatever speech, at least he had the sense to apologize.
Okay.
And about Nitish Kumar, I think he's the most overrated politician. You said he was being touted as the convener of India Alliance.
Correct.
I remember in early 2012-11, he was touted as the future Prime Minister of India. But he has this way of blowing things up. I think his best is behind him in so many ways.
Okay.
But that's another story.
That's a different story altogether. Okay. We'll leave it at that. We'll see how this story plays out. But clearly, I don't think this is a storm. And I, beg to differ with what Sanjeev's assessment is. I don't think this is a storm that's going to go away. And not least because this is election season and the BJP is well within its right, as the Prime Minister did today, to rake up this issue. Whether or not it will have an impact on, the women vote in Madhya Pradesh, in Chhattisgarh, in Rajasthan, that is still up for debate. But certainly, this is not an issue that's just going to blow away or blow over. Let's take a break. When we come back talking about elections, we decode the pulse of these battleground states. We have exclusive ground reports from Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan and Chhattisgarh. In Chhattisgarh, it's not so much Mahadev app politics, it is price of rice politics which seems to be the front and center issue. We also have a ground report from Budni, the home constituency of Shivraj Singh Chauhan, where the BJP and particularly the leadership of the party may be loath to naming him as their singular chief ministerial candidate. But in Budni, the voters there are absolutely convinced if the BJP is in a position to form government, they will have only one chief minister, and that is Shivraj Singh Chauhan, nobody else. And of course in Rajasthan, amidst all this Pilot versus Gehlot political tussle, the number one issue for young voters in that state happens to be these repeated exam paper leaks. Those ground reports coming right on the other side.
Hello, Moto.
Supreme Court finally came on record and came down in fact heavily on the states, especially in North India, and asked them to chalk out a plan which would eventually mean that this menace of pollution that the people of Delhi and North India have to face year in and year out, a concrete plan is made out so that a solution can be found to this menace. But yes, at this point in time, politics continues over it. But yes, people of Delhi are still scared as this AQI and the air that we are forced to breathe in continues to remain toxic. Until when it will remain toxic, that is still a very, very big question mark. And at this point in time, what also remains to be seen, if at all our governments after the Supreme Court came down heavily on them, can finally get their acts together, sit on a table and chalk out a concrete plan because of which we can do away with this menace of pollution that the people of the national capital have to face year in and year out. The people of Delhi are continuously facing this health hazard that has come up because of the rising pollution levels out here in the national capital. Yesterday, the Supreme Court finally took cognizance of this entire situation. After the hearing that happened in the Supreme Court ordered the Delhi government and Delhi Pollution Control Committee to go ahead and open these smoke towers that have been closed for the last 8 months. The main accusation was that this does not affect the air quality out here, and that was the reason why this was closed, because remember, this entire smoke tower was built at a cost of rupees 22 crores and it took almost rupees 10 lakh per month to maintain this smoke tower. But since the air quality in the national capital has deteriorated to such a level that over the past 6 days, the people of the national capital are being forced to in fact breathe in severe air category AQI, and hence this order was given to go ahead and open this. This morning, the chairman of the DPCC actually came over here and opened the locks of the gates over here, and at this point in time the technical committee and the maintenance committee are inside the smoke tower. They are actually figuring out that if at all this smoke tower that has been shut for the last 8 months needs any sort of maintenance, any sort of technical glitch that might have come up, and once these glitches are solved, the maintenance is done, we can expect these smoke towers to actually go ahead and start function. So these are few of the steps that are being taken by the Delhi government after the court orders to give immediate relief, to provide some sort of immediate relief to the people of the national capital who have continuously been suffering due to this deteriorating air quality out here. Now over the next few hours, it is expected that once the maintenance is done, once the technical glitches are smoothened, we can expect that these smoke towers would start to function. But yes, how much significant is it going to be in improving the air quality, especially out here in the Connaught Place area? That is still a big question mark, and that will be answered once these smoke towers start functioning, and we can expect that the AQI might be reduced by a significant margin as well. With video journalist N. Satish Essential Singh for CNN News 18. For the 6th straight day, the AQI in the national capital continues to remain in the severe category. Today as well, the AQI in the national capital and the nearby regions is above the 400 mark, which means that the air that we are breathing in continues to remain toxic. Currently, I am reporting from the iconic Akshardham temple, and if I could show you in the visuals over here, the entire area over
5th March 1959, this is the house where Shivraj Singh Chauhan was born in his ancestral Jeth village in Budni district. He went on to become the Chief Minister in 1990. It's the first time that he won the Budni seat. He was just 31 years of age at that time. After that, he went to Vidisha to become an MP. But he returned to Budni in 2006 when he contested a bypoll, won from here and became the Chief Minister of Madhya Pradesh. Since then, Mr. Shivraj Singh Chauhan has been the MLA from this seat continuously. He's fighting his 6th election currently from Budni, and you can see these small lanes of this Jeth village and this house of Mr. Shivraj Singh Chauhan where he was born. Mr. Chauhan still takes pride in his simple roots. And one of these signature schemes, which in a way has kept him in the hunt for this election, is the Ladli Behna Yojana, in which money is being transferred to women voters every month. Let us speak to a few women here. मैडम, जो मुख्यमंत्री जी पैसा भेज रहे हैं 1250 रुपए, मिल रहा है लोगों को? मिल रहा है। आज मिला है? आज शायद सुना था आज ही ट्रांसफर होना है और आज आ गया है आज का पैसा? अच्छा, मदद हो पाती है मतलब घर के कुछ काम काज?
और क्या गुड़िया खरीद ले में जे टिकी बुंदी है।
हाँ, अच्छा। तो his woman is saying that some works of the house get done if when this money comes. And the Ladli Behna Yojana in fact has been a game changer for Shivraj Singh Chauhan in his present term. This scheme was started about 4 months back. शिवराज जी इतने समय से यहाँ विधायक हैं, अब दोबारा लड़ रहे हैं, पर बड़ी बात यह है कि अगर शिवराज जी जीत भी जाते हैं तो क्या मुख्यमंत्री बनेंगे भाजपा जीतती है तो?
वैसे तो मुख्यमंत्री उनने जो काम किया है उसके अनुसार वो मुख्यमंत्री के दावेदार हैं, लेकिन इस बार जो सुनने में आ रहा है कि जो पार्टी नेतृत्व है वो उनको जिम्मेदारी नहीं देगी, ये सब मतलब समाचार और न्यूज़ों से हमें प्राप्त हुआ है।
आपको भी भाई साहब, ये क्योंकि ये बात काफी वोटर में यहाँ पे है कि शिवराज जी इतने 18 साल से मुख्यमंत्री हो गए, कुछ जो नई जनरेशन है उसने तो किसी और को देखा ही नहीं, जब से पैदा हुए शिवराज जी कोई मुख्यमंत्री देखा। आपको लगता है वो एक कारण है कि अब शिवराज जी से थोड़ी सी थकान वोटर को लग रही है?
देखिए सर, थकान तो वैसे होना नहीं चाहिए, क्योंकि ये हमारा क्षेत्र जो था इसमें मुख्यमंत्री जानते नहीं थे क्या होता है मुख्यमंत्री, लेकिन जिस समय से शिवराज सिंह जी बने हैं तब से तो एहसास हुआ है कि मुख्यमंत्री ऐसे भी होते हैं, नहीं तो मुख्यमंत्री जानते नहीं थे लोग कैसे मुख्यमंत्री होते हैं। और ये जो बड़े बड़े नेता है कमलनाथ जी, ये तो इधर आते ही नहीं थे, इधर तो ये लोगों का आगमन ही नहीं हुआ करता था, तो जानते नहीं थे कि मुख्यमंत्री क्या चीज़ होती है, मुख्यमंत्री कैसे होते हैं। तो विषय ये है कि मुख्यमंत्री शिवराज सिंह चौहान जी को रहना चाहिए, बढ़िया कार्य कर रहे हैं, अच्छा काम चल रहा है उनका और बढ़िया काम है, और जो नर्मदा मैया के आशीर्वाद से उनको फिर बनना चाहिए और उन्हीं को मुख्यमंत्री पद पे बिठाना चाहिए। अब बाकी तो ये लोग बाग बोलते हैं कि मतलब ऊब गए हैं, थक गए हैं, ऐसा नहीं है। देखो, कहते हैं कोई चीज ऐसी होती बार बार देखो फिर भी देखने का मन होता है, लेकिन व्यक्तिगत क्या होता है कि जो लोग बाग बोलते हैं देखो नया आएगा, उसे भी देख के फिर एक बार एक कहोगे कि नहीं अब हम देख लेंगे, कोई आना चाहिए, तो ऐसा नहीं है। जो कार्य अच्छा करता है उन्हीं को आना चाहिए, चाहे वो पुराना चाहे कितना हो।
You know, पगड़ी इस बार किसके सर पे? That's the question everyone is asking.
प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी के। प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी परिभाषित करते हैं कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी किस तरह का शासन लेकर आती है। The level of accountability, the level of commitment, self-auditing and public auditing of all our actions. Every penny accounted for. And when we say in the service of the nation, it is literally you have to empower the citizen to become even more stronger in every way, financially, emotionally, physically, in every way. So every facility that is provided to the citizen needs to be such that it helps the citizen perform even better.
Congress party is saying is that there never is actually a scam and the BJP does it before every election. You misuse the ED, CBI. And I know there have been reports of scams and irregularities in Jal Jeevan mission as well in the state.
The entire conduct of that examination, which was happening after 3 years, mind you, so that's why this large number of candidates were there, 10 lakh candidates. The whole conduct of that examination was supposed to be with the education department, and rightly so. The education department hands it over to an NGO, and guess which NGO? Rajiv Gandhi Study Foundation. Brilliant. Fantastic. And who's heading that Rajiv Gandhi that study foundation or something like that? Who's heading it? Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot is heading it. Isn't that fantastic? And then you have a paper leak. I mean, if it was delivered efficiently, one can understand that. All right, you did well. So you have repeated paper leaks. And these papers are going to certain academies. Those academies are run by children of ministers.
Okay, in every election, youth matter, and every political party woos them. And in Rajasthan, what really concerns them is the fact that what future do they have in terms of jobs, in terms of education, and paper leak issue is something which is really emerging as a big talking point. And in fact, I have 5 such young boys who are very disappointed because they studied hard, they're looking for a better future and looking for change, but that change didn't happen because their papers leaked. So, सबसे पहले मैं आपसे पूछना चाहूँगी, माइक आप इनको दे दीजिए। हाँ,
जी मैम,
क्या हुआ था आपके साथ?
मैम 2021 की वैकेंसी थी और 2022 में उसका पेपर लगा, रद्द हो गया। उसके बाद में फिर 2023-19 पर भी 2023 को CHO का पेपर लगा। जैसे पेपर देके बाहर निकले, पेपर व्हाट्सएप पे पहुंच चुका था। ना तो गवर्नमेंट ने उसको रद्द माना, ना उसका रिजल्ट आया। मतलब पेपर अभी तक रुका हुआ है मैम। अभी तक ना तो रिजल्ट आया।
कुछ कह रहा है आपको, आप तो गुहार लगाए होंगे।
गुहार लगाई है मैम, SOG बोल रही है पेपर रद्द हुआ है और राजस्थान की जो सरकार है वो मान नहीं रही।
2-3 साल तो हो गए अभी।
मैडम साल भर होने को आए, ना तो रिजल्ट आ रहा है, ना गवर्नमेंट ये मान रही है पेपर लीक हुआ है।
आपके साथ भी ऐसा कुछ हुआ?
मैम मैंने SI की परीक्षा दी थी और SI की परीक्षा 3 चरणों में हुई थी। मेरी सेकंड परीक्षा थी 14 सितंबर को, और मैम जैसे ही हम पेपर दे के बाहर आते हैं 15 सितंबर की शाम का पेपर जो था हूबहू OMR सीट है वो व्हाट्सएप पे मिल जाती है। और ऐसा एक ही नहीं, राजस्थान के लगभग उस समय 33 जिले थे, 33 जिलों में से लगभग कुछ एक जिले जो अति संवेदनशील थी जिसमें सेंटर नहीं थे, और बाकी जहां भी सेंटर था जैसे जयपुर हेडक्वार्टर है, मतलब जो राजधानी मुख्यालय पे भी ऐसे कई घटनाएं हुई थी जो व्हाट्सएप पे पेपर आए थे। और OMR सीट उसके ऊपर स्कैनिंग भी होती है, वो स्कैनिंग होती है, उस स्कैनर से भी पता लगाया जा सकता है कि ये किस कक्षा का है, किस विद्यालय से ये पेपर लीक हुआ है। लेकिन सरकार आंख मूंदे हुए बैठी है।
Today at the City Central Library, I am being joined by a group of students from all backgrounds, and the reason why we brought students from all backgrounds is because each of them has their own story to tell, but there is only one common factor. A government job not only brings in stability, but it is also a matter of great respect that comes with it. Some of them want to be collectors, some of them want to be teachers, some of them want to be engineers. Now we are going to go across to them and know how and why they feel disappointed, if at all that they have been, with the letdown in the government exams. So firstly, आपके पास आना चाहूँगी, आप कहाँ से हैं और आपने कितने बार एग्जाम्स क्वालिफाई किया है?
मैं अभी तेलंगाना में वरंगल से हूँ। अभी तक तो मैंने 2 बार अटेम्प्ट किया हूँ। पिछली बार 2018, अभी तो TSPSC स्टेट पब्लिक कमीशन में असिस्टेंट इंजीनियर के लिए प्रिपेयर हो रहा हूँ। अभी तो एग्ज़ाम तो हो गया, पर एक बार पेपर लीकेज हुआ और पोस्टपोन भी हुआ। अभी तक तो 2 बार अटेम्प्ट किया हूँ मैडम मैंने।
I am a sole bred earner to my family. Okay. So due respect government job group 1 deputy collector job I came for a year, but TSPSC has been failed to conduct that exam, and we lost faith on TSPSC. So here we demand that need to reform the TSPSC first. Okay. And at the same time government has been failed to address this issue, and government failed to address the unemployed issue also. Madam, we demand only one, that TSPSC should be conducted on the lines of UPSC. Madam. Okay.
Do you think that by revamping TSPSC, because KT Rama Rao, IT Minister, says that UPSC board had actually came and congratulated the state government for the TSPSC work. What changes do you think needs to be brought in as far as TSPSC is concerned? Because paper leakage happened through one of their members only.
Yes ma'am, firstly I would like to condemn the statements of Mr. KTR. because there is no way the board of UPSC congratulating TSPSC, which is Telangana State Public Service Commission, because they have given notification last year, like 18 months before, Group 1, Group 2, Group 3, Group 4, jobs varying from a clerk to the district collector. So every guy who has at least 10th class of qualification to PG qualification, they can write these examinations. So since last year, like 18 months before, they have conducted Group 1 examination twice. First they conducted last year in the month of October, that was cancelled due to paper leakage. Again they conducted this year in the month of June, they again cancelled because of some transparency issue. So since 18 months we have come to the same junction to back to square one. So every student has lost 18 months of their life, their career, their money and everything.
Presented by Engulfed with smog and toxic haze. This is the toxic smog that we are forced to breathe day in and day out, and you can see in the visuals over here how this thick layer of smog has engulfed the entirety of the national capital today as well. The situation has remained in the severe category for the last 6 days, and I.N.D.I. predicts that over the next few days as well, the AQI is likely to remain in the severe category itself. So yes, there is no sudden relief that will be seen by the people of the national capital who are now running from pillar to post just to get a grasp of fresh air. But a silver lining happened yesterday where the Supreme Court finally came on record and came down in fact heavily on the states, especially in North India, and asked them to chalk out a plan which would eventually mean that this menace of pollution that the people of Delhi and North India have to face year in and year out, a concrete plan is made out so that a solution can be found to this menace. But yes, at this point in time, politics continues over it. But yes, people of Delhi are still scared as this AQI and the air that we are forced to breathe in continues to remain toxic. Until when it will remain toxic, that is still a very, very big question mark. And at this point in time, what also remains to be seen, if at all our governments after the Supreme Court came down heavily on them, can finally get their acts together, sit on a table and chalk out a concrete plan because of which we can do away with this menace of pollution that the people of the national capital have to face year in and year out. The people of Delhi are continuously facing this health hazard that has come up because of the rising pollution levels out here in the national capital. Yesterday, the Supreme Court finally took cognizance of this entire situation. After the hearing that happened in the Supreme Court ordered the Delhi government and Delhi Pollution Control Committee to go ahead and open these smog towers that have been closed for the last 8 months. The main accusation was that this does not affect the air quality out here, and that was the reason why this was closed, because remember, this entire smog tower was built at a cost of rupees 22 crores and it took almost rupees 10 lakh per month to maintain this smog tower. But since the air quality in the national capital has
Hello, Namaskar. This is First Post and you're watching Vantage with me, Palki Sharma. Israel is striking Hamas tunnels. It has killed their top weapons maker in an airstrike, but the US is not on board for its next plan. If Israel occupies Gaza, America says it will strongly oppose